June the 23rd, 1966, Le Mans, France. Three Ford GT40S cross the finish line almost simultaneously. The crowd is on its feet. After years of failure, of humiliation, of being told they couldn't compete, Ford has just beaten Ferrari on their own ground. But something is wrong. In the pit lane, the celebrations stop. Engineers are huddled around a timing sheet. Executives are making phone calls. And in the middle of all of it, a man named Ken Miles is sitting in his car, waiting. He had driven faster than anyone that day. He had led the race for hours. He had crossed the line first. He would not be declared the winner. This is the story of Le Mans 1966. And if you want more stories that history tried to bury, subscribe. You won't regret it. To understand what happened that day, you have to go back to 1963. Henry Ford II, grandson of the founder, head of the most powerful car company in America, wanted to buy Ferrari. Not for the racing, for the prestige, for the brand, for what it would mean to own the most glamorous name in the automobile world. Enzo Ferrari agreed to talks. Negotiations went on for weeks. Ford sent accountants, lawyers, executives to Maranello. They drew up contracts. They shook hands. And then Enzo Ferrari walked away. Not quietly. He reportedly told Ford's representatives that Henry Ford II was not worthy of bearing the Ferrari name, that his money was factory money, the money of workers and assembly lines, not the money of passion and racing. Henry Ford II was furious. He made a decision that day that had nothing to do with business strategy or market share. It was personal. He was going to destroy Ferrari on the racetrack, specifically at Le Mans. Le Mans is not a normal race. 24 hours, day and night, through rain, fog, darkness. Drivers rotating in shifts, sleeping in the pits between stints. The cars covering distances of over 3,000 miles in a single race. It is the oldest and most prestigious endurance race in the world, and Ferrari had dominated it for years. 6 consecutive wins between 1960 and 1965. Le Mans was their race, their identity. Ford threw everything at it. They hired the best engineers in America. They built the GT40 from scratch, a low, aggressive machine designed for one purpose. They recruited drivers from across the world, and they spent what was, at the time, an almost incomprehensible amount of money. They lost in 1964. They lost in 1965. By 1966, the pressure inside Ford was enormous. This was the year. It had to be the year. Ken Miles was not the kind of driver Ford's executives were comfortable with. He was British, blunt, opinionated. He had no interest in politics or appearances. He said exactly what he thought about the car, about the race strategy, about the people making decisions above him. He was also extraordinarily talented. Miles had already won 3 major American races in 1966 before Le Mans: Daytona, Sebring, and Riverside. A triple crown that no driver had ever achieved in a single season. He arrived at Le Mans with a chance to complete something that had never been done before in motorsport history. 4 wins. 4 of the most important races in the world in a single year. His co-driver was Denny Hulme. His car was number 98. And from the moment the race started, they were fast, consistently, relentlessly fast. As the 24th hour approached, 3 Ford GT40s were running at the front of the race. Miles in car 98, Bruce McLaren and Chris Amon in car number 1, and Ronnie Bucknam and Dick Hutcherson in car number 2. Ford was going to win. The only question was, which Ford? And that is where it gets complicated. Ford's public relations team had an idea: a finish line photo. 3 Fords crossing together, side by side, a perfectly staged image of American dominance. The ultimate statement against Ferrari. They radioed the lead drivers and told them to slow down and cross the finish line together. Ken Miles, who was leading, agreed. He slowed his pace. He waited for the other cars to catch up. He gave up the gap he had built over 24 hours of racing. What happened next is one of the most debated moments in motorsport. The 3 cars crossed the line almost simultaneously. Miles, McLaren, Hutcherson, separated by just a few feet after 24 hours and over 3,000 miles. But Le Mans uses a specific rule to determine the winner in cases like this. When 2 cars finish at the same time, the victory goes to the car that started furthest back on the grid. Because that car has theoretically covered more distance. Car number 1, McLaren and Amon, had started further back than car 98. By the rulebook, McLaren was declared the winner. Ken Miles, who had driven faster, who had led longer, who had physically crossed the line first, was classified second. Was it a mistake? Was it intentional? The timing sheet showed Miles ahead. The photographs showed Miles ahead. Every person standing at that finish line knew who had crossed first. But Ford's executives, the same people who had asked Miles to slow down, who had engineered the photo finish, said nothing. They accepted the ruling. They handed the trophy to McLaren. Some who were there that day have suggested that Ford's management preferred a cleaner, less complicated winner. McLaren was easier, more corporate, less difficult. Ken Miles never said much about it publicly. He was not that kind of man. 2 months later, on the 14th of August, 1966, Ken Miles was testing a new Ford prototype at Riverside Raceway in California. The car went out of control at high speed. He died at the scene. He was 47 years old. He never raced again after Le Mans. He never got another shot at the record. He never received any public acknowledgement from Ford of what had happened on that finish line. Bruce McLaren, the man officially declared the winner that day, was gracious about it. He knew. Everyone knew. In interviews afterward, he spoke carefully, diplomatically. He did not celebrate the way a man celebrates a victory he feels he truly earned. The image Ford had wanted, 3 cars, 1 glorious finish line, the perfect photograph, became instead one of the most uncomfortable moments in the history of the sport. Henry Ford II got his revenge on Enzo Ferrari. Ford won Le Mans in 1966, 67, 68, and 69. But the man who made that first victory possible, the man who had driven further and faster than anyone else that day, died 2 months later without a trophy, without a record, without the recognition he had earned. Racing has always been about more than speed. It has always been about the people behind the wheel, the ones who take the risks, who push the limits, who give everything they have to a machine and a stopwatch. Ken Miles gave everything. Le Mans 1966 took it back. And if this story made you feel something, a like costs you nothing. but it means everything for a channel that believes these stories deserve to be told. See you in the next one.